What's going on, Big Blue Nation? Will Turpin, UK superfan. On today's video, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at all the matchups and the information that you need to be an informed fan going into Saturday's game at Rupp Arena with the Kentucky Wildcats taking on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Notre Dame comes into this game. They're 1-2, but don't let the record fool you. I mean, those two losses were against a really good Michigan State team that they were in that game right down to the end. And then the other night they played Ohio State, who's undefeated. And Ohio State had to play out of their minds because both teams played really good. I mean, both teams executed really good. It was just a matter of who could out-execute who. And Ohio State, made some really good plays down the stretch and won a close game there. It was kind of a shootout the other night. I was very impressed. Looking at the tape of the three games with Notre Dame, they impressed me more than any team we've played so far this season. So there you go. That's where I'm going to start out with. They looked really good on offense, and we'll get right into it. We'll start breaking down all the matchups and things that you need to look for this Saturday game. Like I say, it's a noontime tip-off, Kentucky fans, so it's a little early, and it'll be a nationally televised game on CBS at 12 noon. Getting right into it, Prentice Hub, 6'3", 175-pound junior guard. Super quick release. He's as fierce a competitor as I've scouted in this young season. The personification of a leader. Mike Bray just loves the kid. I don't know what the announcers may or may not be saying before the game, but I'll bet you by the end of the game, they're talking about what a special talent Prentice Hub it truly is. Prentice is he's just a guy that's going to put the team on his shoulders. It's just that simple. And when the big plays need to be made, he's going to be right in the middle of them. Just like I said, he's as competitive as a guard as I've looked at all year, and he should be on everybody's watch list as one of the better guards in America. That's how far I'll go with Prentice Hub. It's going to be a great opportunity for him. Like I said, national TV on CBS, and I don't know, like I said, how much of the country knows about him, but if Kentucky really going to have to find some way to shut him down if they want to try to win this game. Next on the board, Cormac Ryan. He's a 6'5", 195-pound junior guard. He's actually a transfer in out of Stanford. He set out last year, but he was with the team the whole year. He's picked up the system. He's just another guy that's super competitive. Looking at the tape, he plays smart, super high basketball IQ, great shooter from three-point range, knocks down all of his free throws. Just doesn't make any mistakes on the floor. And really, one of the things that stuck out to me watching the tape on him, he's really just like having another point guard on the floor. I mean, he's got superior ball handling skills. I mean, he's an excellent passer. If he's got any weakness at all, it'd probably be on the defensive end. He can be out physical, he can be out muscled. Somebody with a quick first step like Terrence Clark. I wouldn't imagine they'd have Cormac Ryan on Terrence Clark. As a matter of fact, if I was Mike Bray, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably have Dane Goodwin on him, just because B.J. Boston, I don't feel like he's a threat off the dribble for Kentucky. I mean, we've seen him. Like, his handle is just not good, and I'd probably have Ryan on him. I think Goodwin's just a hair better defender, perimeter defender. But that's the next matchup, is really for Kentucky. That's the one that really got going last game was Terrence Clark. So I would expect Goodwin to be on him. But I don't know. They may mix and match there. It's hard to say. But, Cormac Ryan, I mean, he can flat out shoot the basketball. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, Prentice Hub, Cormac Ryan, and the next guy, Dane Goodwin, they're all, I mean, they're as good a three-point shooting guards as we've played all year. I mean, these guys are going to flat out knock it down, and I've seen them knock them down with guys draped all over them. I mean, Ohio State was doing everything they could to slow them down the other night, and they were just busting them. I mean, they were busting them right in Ohio State's eye, too. I mean, these guys are some super marksmen, and at the end of this, after we get through all the players, I'll kind of give you some numbers on that to back that up. But, yeah, Dane Goodwin, he's the next one, 6'6", 200-pound junior guard. Last season he was named their most improved player on the team. Rarely comes off the floor for Mike Brey. He's an above-average rebounder for a guard. Like as I mentioned earlier, just another guy can fill it up from downtown. He's very consistent. I mean, he typically gives Mike Brey double digits every night. And another guy that's a big-time leader, and him and Prentice Hub, they played a lot of games together in the last 3 years. I mean, they probably played, Prentice Hub and Dane Goodwin, Nate Lazowinski, and Juwan Durham. I mean, these guys have played over 100 games together in tough competition. So, I mean, that's kind of what we're up against. Like I said, next on the list, Nate Lazowski there. He's a 6'10", 227-pound junior forward. He's a big guy that can stretch the floor. He's a plus defender, tough rebounder. He'll get physical. The thing that really stood out to me about Nate is it seems like, I don't know if the scouting reports wasn't good or what was going on, but teams just weren't guarding him from outside. And it seemed like every game, boom, he drifts out there and just pops 2 or 3 threes before anybody even, takes notice of it. So, if any Kentucky coaching staff's watching this, don't let him leak out there. And that could be a problem because that means he's pulling Isaiah Jackson away from the goal. So, we've seen Jackson. He's been abused. That's one thing about him. He's been a really good defender. Jackson has down around the rim. Like he alters shots, blocks a lot of shots. But one thing that he's had trouble with is when players take him off the dribble. And, when he gets extended out a little bit on the floor, he's had a bad problem with not being able to keep up. And that could be an area, if Notre Dame's watched the tape on Kentucky, that really sticks out is, you could bring, Nate Lazowski out in some ball screens and get Jackson out away from the floor, and that'd be a great way for them to attack us, actually. So I hope we've got, some sort of a counter for that. Next up on the list for Notre Dame is Juwan Durham. He's a 6'11", 240-pound forward. He's actually a grad student. So he's got, another guy that's got a lot of experience. He's been in the system for 4 years, fifth-year player. He's an elite shot blocker. He entered the season, I think, 6th on Notre Dame's all-time shot blocking list, and he hadn't slowed down. He's already added 9 more to that list just in this short period of time this season. And, Notre Dame really don't run a lot for Juwan Durham. He gets most of his points, just primarily from what I saw on putbacks and broken plays. But he's definitely a force at 6'11", 240 pounds. He's a grown man down there. And Olivier Sarr is going to, he's going to have it, excuse me, my nose itching there. He's going to really have his hands full, with Juwan Durham. He really is. That's going to be a really interesting matchup. I think that forward matchup, both those forwards, it's really the game inside the game. Obviously, Notre Dame, what makes them tick, though, is those 3 guards. And, it's Prentice Hub's team. It is. But Cormac Ryan is like I said, he's a marksman, and Dane Goodwin is equally as capable. Off the beat, they don't play a lot of guys, to be honest with you. Tony Sanders Jr., I mean, he's playing, somewhere between 8 and 12 minutes a game. But usually it's just to maybe give Hub, Ryan, or Goodwin maybe just a minute or 2 break here or yonder. So, I mean, he's really not a factor. Even when he's on the floor, they always have 2. They never are without at least 2 of those guards on the floor at all times. So when one of them does come off the floor for a minute and Sanders can come in, he's a 6'7", 202-pound freshman guard. So, I mean, he's a long player. He's a good athletic guard for him to bring in that can defend. He's still trying to get his feet wet on the offensive end. So, usually when he is in the game, the other two guards just assume a little bit more offensive responsibility from what I could see looking at the tape on him. Now, the next kid, now he's real interesting. This Matt Zona here, he's a 6'9". He's listed at 240-pound freshman forward. And, Matt's really worked hard in kind of remaking his body between his senior year of high school and his, freshman season now at Notre Dame. And, he's lost some of that weight that he had and actually has transformed it into muscle, Mike Bray said. And this guy, man, he plays with a lot of passion, plays with a lot of emotion. In just a short period of time, he's already won over his teammates and his coaching staff, with his hustle and really just the attitude that he plays with. I mean, the guy plays with attitude, big time. And, Matt Zona, he doesn't shy away at all from physicality. He's the son of a New York City firefighter. And, man, he's got that hardcore, down and dirty attitude. He will get to work in that paint down there. And, he'll play physical. When he's in the game, so far he's been playing 10 to 15 minutes a game. It wouldn't surprise me to see that increase. And if either one of Lazewski or Durham get in foul trouble, I think you'll see. I don't think Mike Bray will hesitate one bit in extending Matt Zona's minutes because he's done nothing but rave about the young freshman forward in the early part of camp and this young season. So, that's kind of a look at what they do. I mean, that's about what they play, those 7 guys. Like I said, most of the time they keep 2 of those guards on the floor at all time, and none of them come off the floor very much. They're all playing over 35 minutes a game. And, but I was talking a little bit about this sharpshooters here. Notre Dame, they're 30 out of 68 from downtown, from three-point range in these 3 games. They average about 23 attempts a game. So, like I said, they're shooting 44% from long range. And they're also 41 out of 53 from the free throw stripe as well. So, I mean, that's 77% there. Don't make a lot of mistakes. They're averaging right around 10 turnovers a game. I think they got 31 turnovers through 3 games. So, this is a game where I don't know if Kentucky can make big enough jump in 4 or 5 days, to win this game. I really don't. I mean, yeah, we've got the athletes to match up with them, but these guys that we're going against are really good ball players. It's, like I said, probably play close to 100 games together at Notre Dame, and this is a good team. Notre Dame's got a really good team. I think they're an NCAA tournament team. Prentice Hub is an elite guard. I mean, honestly, he looks like the kind of player I'd want on my team if I was running an NBA team. I mean, guys like him that want to lead, are just special to watch, and he really puts it on his shoulders. And for Kentucky, it's just one of those scenarios where, if you look at all the matchups, they're fairly even. It's hard to really say. I wouldn't give anybody the advantage. It's just the fact that when you look at them and how well they execute Notre Dame-wise, it's just hard to imagine, in order to lose, they've had to have Michigan State just basically both teams played great, and Michigan State played a little bit better. And, Notre Dame may not be the best defensive team. I mean, if they have any weakness at all, that's probably where it lays. But Kentucky has not really shown any consistency on offense. So that's where we would need to take a huge step forward. But, we know Kentucky's going to try to limit the turnovers. We know that's what they focused on. So if they can continue with that good ball movement, because they did show that, the 3 days before the Georgia Tech game, they had 3 days to work on ball movement and trying to get better looks from downtown, and we saw that. Kentucky shot a little over 41% against Georgia Tech. Now, of course, their undoing was those 21 turnovers. But Cal talked about, we're going to focus on, trying to play tougher, trying to value the possessions, and Kentucky's definitely going to have to do that to beat Notre Dame. We're going to have to value the possessions, and somehow or another, if Kentucky could somehow or another force 13, 14, 15 turnovers, that would be a little bit more than what Notre Dame averages, but that would start tilting things over on your side a little bit. Because honestly, I don't see a scenario where Kentucky out-executes Notre Dame in the half court. I mean, I just can't imagine that we could take that big of a jump in 1 week. And I'm telling you, like I said, I watched every bit of the 3 games Notre Dame has played. And I mean, they just graded out so good. I mean, they really did. I mean, they were fun to watch. I enjoyed watching what I saw. It was enjoyable basketball. And Mike Bray's got a good squad. And like I said, I mean, they were hitting shots in that Ohio State game with guys draped all over them. I mean, right up in their face, and they were still popping them right in. And you can see them, they're shooting 44% from downtown on the season. You know, when you shoot 44%, you know, from downtown and 77 from the free throw line and keep your turnovers down to about 10, you got a chance to win a lot of games. And like I said, if they have any area of deficiency at all, it would be on the defensive end. You know, sometimes you can beat them back down the court. You know, they've had trouble with some athletic wings that have been able to, you know, score, get around Goodwin and Ryan and score. Now, Juwan Durham does do a good job of protecting the rim, but in the last game against Ohio State, he got in foul trouble. So that forced Zona onto the floor a little bit more. But, you know, it's still, like I said, going to come down to, you know, where can we create some edges? And in tomorrow's video, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to have a quick little, hopefully 8 to 9 minute video out tomorrow, which is basically going to be the keys to victory. And I'm going to document exactly where and what Kentucky will have to do to win this game. And if we do win, it'll be because we do those 3 or 4 things. Guys, I appreciate all the support. It's been so awesome. Like I said, I can't thank y'all enough. What a blessing it's been over the last few weeks. And, you know, like I said, you know, hit the like button if you don't care. It helps us with that YouTube algorithm. The more likes we get, the more YouTube recommends my videos to other people on YouTube. And also, you know, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know, it's hard to grow a channel this year when you're talking about UK basketball, because, you know, it seems like as the team has went down, then, you know, the interest in, you know, as the losses have came, the interest has definitely went way down. But needless to say, we're going to keep on grinding, but hopefully we can grow the channel a little bit. So if you know anybody, like I said, you know, pass us along, you know, tell, hey, get on that YouTube and hit that UK Superfan, hit that, you know, hit that subscribe button, give him a follow, and, man, I'd sure appreciate it. And I'm going to try my best to provide the best content that I possibly can on UK basketball the rest of the season. Like I said, look for that Keys to Victory video. It'll be coming up tomorrow. And, guys, y'all have a good night. Appreciate all the support again, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.